today I've got quite a few new things to try. I'll be starting with the Ole Henriksen Glow Moisturiser. This is the new Banana Bright Glow Moisturiser. Now I want to see how this actually looks on my skin with the under eye brightener as well. And I'm actually going to try this underneath a skin tint which doesn't give me much of radiance, much of a glow. So I'm going to see if this can improve the glow for me. I've got two of the Too Faced bronze sticks, so I'm going to be trying on at least one of these for you today, but I'll be swatching both. And I've got this new VISEART eyeshadow palette, and I've got 3 looks with this to show you. I'll be trying on one today, but I've recorded 2 which I'll include in the video for you. And lastly, the star of the show probably is the new Chanel face palette. I've got this in light coral, and I'll be finishing my look with all of these and seeing how these look. I do also have a lip product, actually, the Benefit lip product here, which I'll be trying right at the end. So lots of newness to try. I'm excited to get stuck in. And if you're new here, my name's Hannah. I'm 47. I'm not a professional, just somebody who really loves makeup and beauty. And I like to share new products, reviews, any looks I think you might be interested in, anything at all like that. If you think you'd enjoy that, please do like and subscribe below. And if you'd comment below, that would be great. I'd love to chat with you, and it really does help my channel. And my skin is fair to light, neutral. I say neutral, but sometimes I think it's leaning cool, so I'm changing my mind all the time. But anyway, neutral / cool, shall we say. And I've got combination skin with a slightly oily T-zone. So let's get on to this video. So I've been seeing the Ole Henriksen skincare online now for a long time, and I've just not bought it. I test so much skincare. I didn't really want to try anything else, but then I saw a TikTok of somebody trying this on, and the glow that it gave them, I just thought it looked so beautiful. I thought, I've got to try this. So this is their new Glow Moisturiser, and I bought this in a bundle with their Brightening Banana Under Eye Cream, and it was £63 for this bundle. And the Banana Bright Moisturiser says that it will give you everyday luminosity. So I've been using this and testing it already. And it says here that it offers essential hydration enhanced with clinical brightening power and light reflecting pigments for a warm golden glow. And then their best-selling vitamin C eye cream visibly diminishes dark circles and crow's feet while creating a smooth base for your concealer. So if you're familiar with this, you'll know it smells orangey, not of banana, which I was actually disappointed at because I love banana. Anyway, I'm going to apply this on one side of the face first, just so you can see if there's a bit of a difference from a glow luminous perspective. I know that my skin absorbs this very well and it sits well under my makeup. I'm trying it with something new today, but so far I've tried this underneath powdered foundation and it works really well. It's kept me well moisturised throughout the day, and it's stopped me having any problems with my powdered foundation. But I've also used this underneath liquid foundation. I tried it underneath a matte foundation anyway, because I'd like to have more of a glowy product underneath matte foundations. So I think you can see there's definitely a glow I'm not getting here. I am under really bright studio lights, so I do get a bit of a bounce off my cheek. I do have my skincare on at the moment, so I've got SPF on my face at the moment on top of my daily serum, but I put that on nearly an hour ago now. So it already doesn't feel heavy at all on my face. My skin has really absorbed it. It's got a bit of a tacky finish, but that's not a problem because that does help your makeup to grip. So I think I'll move on to the eye on this side, so we can do everything on one side. I'm going to just put this here, tap it in underneath. Now obviously a lot of these promises are things that happen over time because of the ingredients giving you that brightening effect. So you're not going to see a sudden wow, my face is brightened instantly. This is something that happens over time the more you use it. One thing with this under eye cream is it definitely does work underneath concealer. I found with a lot of under eye creams they just make my concealer sit very heavily and I tend to get little lumps collecting here in the lines, and it just looks awful. But this one I've tried with about 3 concealers now, and so far it's worked really well. So if you've got very tricky under eye skin like me, this could be a good one to try, because I'm really happy with that so far. It's the first eye cream I've actually stuck to. I've been giving up on most of them lately. So I did actually get the colour correcting stick. So I got mine in the shade Banana, and Banana is supposed to correct purples and dark circles. This comes in 3 other shades to correct different things, such as Apricot to correct blue and purple, Pumpkin to correct your blue dark circles, and Guava to correct blue dark circles. So they all correct blue circles, but they just have different shades. So this one is Banana. Now I've tried this a few times now, just here, to try to correct this sort of purple I do get in this area. And I can't say I've noticed a huge difference, if I'm really going to be honest. I can say that it absorbs very well and it sits nicely underneath concealer. So there is some difference. I think there is some correction. See what you think anyway. So on this one side of the face I now have all 3 of these products. You can see the really amazing glow I'm getting. I think there is a bit of correction actually. Maybe I'm being unfair saying I'm not seeing anything, because now I think I can. Typical. And here's the side without. So I'll just finish this side. So there is a full face of all of my glowy Ole Henriksen products. I really do like them actually. I really do. I've been enjoying them a lot over the last few days. I think maybe the colour correction looks better because I'm seeing them under these lights. Maybe when I've just been doing it with my light mirror on, I haven't noticed it. So maybe that colour corrector is quite good actually. It's not massively correcting, but it does work. So everything I'm using is linked below if you want to try any of these. But yeah, very pleased so far with these, and I might try some more products for them, maybe for my evening routine. So I'm going to try the new Dolce & Gabbana skin tint on top of this, and I did a full review of this which you can find here on my channel. The reason I'm going to try this is because when I tried this up against Lisa Eldridge, the reason it wasn't as good as Lisa Eldridge for me was it was a bit drying. It was showing up a little bit dry on my nose, and it didn't have that sort of radiant glow that I got with Lisa Eldridge. So I'll be interested to see if putting it on top of this will give me that radiance, and maybe it'll sit better on the nose area. So let's see. I'm also going to apply it with a beauty blender this time, because this is not quite as runny as the Lisa Eldridge, and I think that it might work with the beauty sponge. So we'll see anyway. And the shade I've got is 01N. I'm hoping that applying this with a sponge will just make that difference, especially on the tricky nose area. It's not to say that I didn't like this, because I did, but I liked it after I'd applied everything else, when other products such as the cream bronzer I used really made a difference. On its own, which, you know, a lot of people would like to wear a skin tint on its own, I didn't like it. And at the moment it's looking good actually, sitting really nicely on the nose. When I applied it in my first review, it just looked instantly powdery, and it stayed like that until I added other products, basically cream products, which does suggest having a creamy product underneath should help. I'm just adding a bit to the sponge, and I'm just going to build it up in the areas where I'd like a bit more coverage. Obviously this is a skin tint, so I'm not expecting much coverage from this. So that is how it is sitting on top of this Ole Henriksen, which is definitely making a big difference actually. Definitely prefer it on the nose. It definitely looks a lot better. I'll look at this on my magnification mirror. So looking in there, I can still see a little bit of cakiness there and there, a little bit, but I'd say it's reduced by about 50% by using that underneath. And the thing I'm noticing definitely, I hope you can see on camera, is the radiance, which it did not give me when I applied it the first time. It was quite almost matte on me. So that has really transformed it. So I think that shows that if you use something like this Ole Henriksen, it really can transform one of your products. So if you're finding them a little bit too dry or lacking that radiance from beneath, then this could be a very good option for you. I have tried this under very strong matte foundations and haven't seen quite as much radiance come through, I've got to be honest, but what I have had is a better wear. So a tiny bit of radiance comes through if you're using sort of full, medium to full coverage matte foundation over this. but it is improving the wear for me. So yeah, really pleased with that. I'm just going to go on and do my concealer, set underneath my eyes, and then be back to look at these bronzing sticks. So now moving on to these new Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Melting Bronzing Sticks. Now, I love a bronzing stick, so when I saw these launch, I had to try them. I picked up 2 shades, Chocolate Souffle and Chocolate Mousse, and Chocolate Mousse is the one I've been using the most, and I quite like it as a contour, which is what I'm going to use it for today and show you. I'll just swatch both of them on the back of my hand for you. So this one here is the Chocolate Mousse, and this is Chocolate Souffle, which is just slightly warmer. Not much in it at all, as you can see. I'll just rub them out a bit so you can see. So chocolate mousse and souffle. You can see now as I've blended it that you can see the warmth. So one of the ways I like to use this is to use the chocolate mousse as my contour and then go in with a little bit of the souffle as a bronzer. But you don't need a lot, and it really does give me quite a strong effect. So I'm not going to use both today because I'm going to be trying out the new Chanel bronzer at the end. So I'm just going to use this today as contour, which I'm really enjoying it for. So with these you get 8 grams of product and they cost £28, and there's another 2 shades. And it does have a strong chocolate smell. In fact, it reminds me of chocolate oranges. I don't know if it's actually got any orange in it, but it reminds me of the Terry's chocolate orange, which I really love, and I can smell it as I'm applying it. You don't smell it once it's blended in, but you do really smell it as you're applying it. So keep that in mind if you think you wouldn't enjoy that. But me personally, I love it. So I'll just put some here and down the side of the nose. And using my 109 brush from BK Beauty, you'll see this really is called melting, but look, I mean, it's already melted in. It is exceptionally easy, it really is. Really beautiful actually. I think I've got quite a few bronzing sticks that I really like, but now I've tried this, or bronzing creams generally, this is definitely up there with one of the best I've tried. That's how much I like it. The only thing I would say is the Chocolate Souffle shade is just too warm, and I think that's the lightest out of the 4, so I think I could do with one more shade if I was going to wear it all over the face, because the next 2 shades are just too dark for me, so these are the only 2 that really work. But can you see just how easily this blends out? And it doesn't matter if you've left it on your skin for a while, you can just go back to it. It's not something that's difficult. You don't have to rush with this. The dry down on it is not immediate by any means. And this is the product. When I said I had a problem with this skin tint being dry on my nose, this is the product that fixed it, because this has that sort of creamy, balmy effect on my skin, and it just sort of perfected the nose. So if, like me, you have problems with products sitting on your nose, something like this as your contour is actually quite good. So there it is all over now. I think that makes it a really nice contour shade for me. And if you do like balmy, creamy bronzers and you like any of these 4 shades, I definitely would recommend trying it, because it is so easy to use and it's perfect for that sort of natural makeup look. I think it's really nice. So at this base in general, I'm really happy with a little bit of blush, and this would be quite a good natural look for me. But obviously we're going on to do more products now, but yeah, I really do like this one. And this isn't actually listed in my video, but I tested out and reviewed the new Natasha Denona Powder Foundation this week, which you can also find on my channel. And a few of you asked if you can use this as your setting powder. So I'm just going to use it now on the cheeks so you can see whether or not this works. So when I set my face, I always use a puff. So I'm going to go into my foundation. I don't want to get too much of this. So I want it to blur out my pores here, and I want it to take down the shine a bit. So sort of defeats the object of the radiance I achieved earlier. But I just wanted to see if this works. I mean, for me personally, I think it's a little bit too heavy because it is a good foundation for me. but on top of a skin tint or on top of a foundation, for me it's too much. But I think you can see that it has done the job very well. It has blurred. The only problem I have is this shade is just a little bit too yellow on me. The more I use it, the more I think I need the cool shade. But yes, I think it does work. I'm not going to do it all over the face. I think I want to keep some of that glow, but I just wanted to test that for any of you that might be watching that ask me about whether or not it works. It definitely does work. I'm using the Hourglass airbrush setting powder for the rest of my face because it's just that much lighter and I don't want that much more coverage. So now moving on to the eyes, and here we have the fairly new palette from, this is their latest one anyway, from VISEART. I say fairly new because whenever I order from VISEART it takes a really long time to get to me here in the UK. So this got to me just about last week, so I have been trying this out and I have made 2 looks with this, which I will show you in a minute. Now this cost me £35, $44. And I'll just read to you the description for this. It says, take a stroll through our lush labyrinth of reveries where scattered light lingers and soft petals unfurl within our hidden garden haven. Inspired by dreams of idyllic Parisian days wandering through secret gardens, our romantic reveries palette is serendipitously, I can't say that, serendipitously, I got there, is serendipitously sweet with provocatively pared back hues. Well, that was a bit of a mouthful, but anyway, it sounds beautiful, doesn't it? So these are 12 brand new shades from VISEART, and I'm a massive fan of VISEART. I collect a lot of their palettes. I certainly started last year anyway, pretty much most of their releases. I really love them, and my palette that I rely on every day almost is the one that sits top of my drawer, which is their Neutrals palette. I love their formula. It's so reliable, so easy to use. Anyway, I'll do a quick swatch of these for you, starting with the top row. This one is Fleuria, a nude light pink with a matte finish, which you can't see at all really on my hand because this really would be used for just in a corner, I think. Rosé, which is a light pink champagne with a high shine metallic finish. That is really pretty. And then we have Demeter, which is mid-tone, cool tone taupe fawn brown with a matte finish. So there's those first 3 shades there. And next is Aphrodite, which is a light fresh cantaloupe with a matte finish. And then there's Primavera, light pastel lilac with a matte finish. And Persephone, metallic roseberry with a satin finish. So there are those 3. The next, Tulip, which is a light white peach with a metallic shimmer finish. And Matin d'Or, which is a champagne nude peach with a metallic finish. And Nymph, which is a mid-tone tawny chocolate brown with a matte finish. There they are. These new shimmery shades are stunning. They really are beautiful. Then the last 3, Ceres, I don't think I've said that right, dusty pink plum with a matte finish. Ephemera, which is a cool tone silver rose taupe with a metallic finish. And Eleusis, I don't think I'm saying any of these right, bright mid-tone warm bronzed copper brown with a metallic finish. Beautiful. Look at this one. So apologies for my pronunciations there, I'm sure I've got all of those wrong. So I've been using this palette over the last few days. I've recorded 2 looks which I'm now going to play for you. These are basically my Instagram videos, so I'll play one after the other so you can see them here, and then we'll try a 3rd look.
You're something beautiful, electric chemical. You take my breath away, feel my emotions push and pull. Shooting stars in your eyes, you're bringing me to life. Love how you say my name, you make it feel like summertime. When you reach out your hand, I find myself.
So now for my third look, and using my Sonia GT3, I'm going to go into this one here, which is that Cantaloupe matte. And one thing with these, the kickback on these is more than I've ever seen before with VISEART. It really is huge. So you need to tap off a lot with this, and you will have a mess on your desk if you're not careful. So I'll take this now into my crease and bring it out into my outer V. Above my crease, and in my crease I should say, because I've got a slightly hooded eye, so I take it above the crease. And using my T1 brush, I'm going into this taupe brown, running this underneath and then starting to bring it up here. And using the T3 brush with the same shade now, I'm going to start bringing this matte, taupe matte, to meet the Cantaloupe. And stopping just by here. And the thing I notice straight away when I use these, as with all VISEART, the blending is so effortless, so easy, and it just gives you such a smooth, patch-free finish so quickly. You just don't really need to do much at all. They are, for me, an unbeatable formula. They really are. You cannot get better. I mean, I love Natasha Denona, I love Pat McGrath, I love ABH, but nothing will actually beat this formula. This really is phenomenal. Their matte formula, but I'm starting to love their shimmers, which you're going to see now. I've always loved their shimmers, but I'm starting to love them on par with Natasha Denona. They really are something special. Now I'll just take a clean fluffy brush and go around the edges to soften up. I don't want to deepen up any more than that. I want this to be quite a light spring look. I don't want too much depth. So for me that's just about right. And now I'm going to go into this gorgeous shimmer. This is a light white peach with the metallic finish. Even putting this on my finger, I have to blow to get the excess off my finger, because it really has got an awful lot of fallout. Look at this. And how gorgeous is that? I love peach, I just love it. One of my absolute favourite colours, if not my favourite colour ever. Since I was a little girl, always loved peach. Just look at that, isn't it stunning? And now using my T1, I'm going into this Champagne Shimmer Metallic, and I'm going to put this in the first third of my eyelid, not in my eye, and bring it to meet the peach. I'm just doing this with my finger as well, because it just looks so much better when I use my finger. And I'm putting the same shade into the inner corner and under the brow. And using my eyeliner brush, I'm going into this chocolate brown. I'm taking this underneath and then tight lining just a bit here against my eyelashes. And using the T1 just to finish now, going back into this light peach shimmer and running a little bit underneath to match above. And I've still managed to get some of this under here now, so I've got all sparkly peach coming here, which I can't get rid of. So I strongly recommend, if you use this, definitely do it first before you do your base, because the fallout on this is really bad, but the effect and the way these work are just beautiful. Anyway, I'll just put my mascara on and then we'll be back to try on the Chanel face palette. So there is my final look with this VISEART palette, and I love this colour story. I've tried two other looks as you've seen, and I have loved them all. I think this peach shade is probably my favourite shade in the palette, but I have really enjoyed them, especially the sort of brown taupey look I did earlier, which you would have seen in the clip. So as always, I love VISEART, and when I saw this colour story I knew I had to try it because it just had too many colours in it I knew I would love working with. So another big hit from VISEART for me. Now onto this whopping massive Chanel face palette. So here we have it. This cost a massive £80. There are 5 shades available and it's made in Italy. I swatched this yesterday in daylight, so I will quickly insert a clip of that here for you to see, which will look a little better than here underneath the studio light.
You're something beautiful, electric chemical. You take my breath.
So this is the only shade I think will work for me with fair skin. All of the other ones look too deep, so having swatched it, I think these colours are beautiful. The bronzer is a little bit warm, but we're going to see. I think it'll work. They are beautiful summer colours, they really are. Now this might be £80, but it's worth keeping in mind just how big this is. If for instance we compare it to the Dior palette which came out earlier this year, the bronzer which had the blush infused, if you look at the size difference between these two, so this Dior one here has got 8 grams of product in it, whereas this one here from Chanel has got 15, so it's more than double. So this does not cost the same price as 2 of the Dior, if you think about it that way. And another way to look at it is I just got these blush from NARS. These have 4.8 grams in and they cost £30. So 3 of these would cost me £90 and I would be getting less product than here. So £80 for these and you're getting more. So it's not actually that expensive, it's just that it's huge. Now I don't think it's a problem really. I think the fact that it's huge is probably just about the right size as well. If this was all, for instance, the highlight, like there is a highlight this size and it's a lifetime supply of highlight, but here you've got quite a reasonable amount of product for all of them. And I like the fact that the bronze is in the middle because that's where you really want to be able to sweep. Whereas these two here you can be a bit more precise with. So at the moment, I don't think it's too expensive. I think the packaging, as always, is beautiful. The mirror does stand up. It's quite a big mirror. It's lovely packaging. So at the moment, I really do think it's worth it, but let's see what it looks like. So I'm going to use my Hourglass snake brush. I think this fits into the middle. Let's just have a look together. Yeah, it fits. So I'll take this across the bronzer. Tap off, nothing coming off the brush. Obviously I've got a little bit of bronze from the cream bronzer, but I only put that in my contour areas so I don't have it all over. This is very light, it's not coming across too pigmented, it's applying quite evenly. It doesn't look too warm actually, it's quite a nice shade on me. I'm just wondering as I use this how similar this might be to the Gucci in 90 because they are reminding me of each other. Here they are side by side. I'll just do a swatch of the two to show you. So Gucci and Chanel. Yeah, maybe the Gucci's a tiny bit warmer. The difference is not massive. So I'm building this up, but I need to stop really, otherwise I'll start to look a bit bonkers. It does blend really beautifully. I do like this. Very nice sun-kissed look, isn't it? I don't think I like it as much as the Gucci, but I really do like it. I'm using my Sonia G Classic Cheek for this. It's not too pigmented, so it's going on quite nicely there. I know when I swatched this I thought it was beautiful and it really goes very well with the eye look I've got on today. It's not a very deep coral, it's a pinky coral which is really pretty. And this has a sort of perfumey smell to it, this palette. Classic sort of Chanel scent, so keep that in mind if you have a problem with scents. Oh, that is really pretty. It does have quite a luminous effect. Quite shiny. Just taking a little bit here on the apple of the cheek. Definitely feels like I've got quite a lot of shine and I haven't added any highlighter yet, so. And now going in with my Sonia G Fan Pro, I'm trying out this highlighter. even though it seemed to already be almost there. I don't know if I picked up a bit when I did the bronzer, which could have happened actually, because it does look like the same sort of highlight shade. Oh, that is a really pretty highlight actually. I love that. Oh, I really like that. So many highlights at the moment that I'm really enjoying. I'm just trying to figure out my favourites for April video, and I'm really struggling with which highlight to choose. And I don't think I should be adding this palette into my favourites, since I'm trying this out on the very last day of April. This will be in my May video. That is really pretty. Take some down the nose and the Cupid's bow. Well, that really is a fabulous summer palette, isn't it? And so easy having them all together in one. I really like this. I can see me getting an awful lot of use out of this. So if you have these colours, obviously you do not need this, but the quality is fantastic. And being able to apply them when they're all together like this, I think that they're big enough for it to be quite easy to do. Just be careful, because I think I must have picked up a bit of highlight, because the bronze is not glowy in the way that it looked on my face, so I must have got a bit on the brush. So you might need to use a smaller brush for it, but still not bad at all. It is big enough to be able to get quite a decent sized bronzing brush into it. The finish, fabulous. Absolutely love that. Really, really nice. I'd love to know what you think. And the last thing I'll be doing is my lips, and I've got this new Benefit Splashtint, and I've got this in Pillow Play, it's called, and this was £21.50, and it comes in 6 shades. It says that it's water resistant and long wear, smudge proof, and it has a dewy finish. Now, I've already tested this a few times, and what I can tell you is the smudge proof is not true in the first hour. You do need to be really careful in the first hour, but after that it does really set in and last for hours on the lips. So it does definitely live up to that, but you do need to be careful in the first hour. And the tip on this is slightly more pointed and very sort of fine, which I find brilliant for applying. It's quite thick and really soft and comfortable on the lips. You can get a really precise application with this tip. I really do like it. So you can line the outer edge and then go in with the wider part to build up colour here. It has a slightly vanilla smell, which is quite nice. So there is Pillow Play. I think it's really pretty. It's very comfortable. It's not drying. It's like a thick cream. That's the way I'd describe this. It's certainly not thin. You do really feel it on your lips, but I think it's quite flattering on the lips. It's sort of hiding lines a bit, blurring them out. And yeah, it does, I'll show you straight away, you see. It does definitely smudge, and it will come off and transfer in that first hour. But I've noticed after an hour, when you do this, you get nothing. It just needs time to really dry back, so be careful with it, and then you can get a lot of wear out of this. And I do think the packaging is super cute. I love this top. So there we have my final look with everything tried on today. I pretty much loved everything. The only thing I'm still not convinced by though is this Dolce & Gabbana skin tint. I think it is still quite drying. I don't like the way it looks on my nose still. It looked fine at first, but as it's dried down I still don't really like it. So I think I only get oily here later in the day. At the moment it's dry, so I think it's just not as suitable for dry skin. Whereas the Lisa Eldridge one looks so good on me. So I'm not really a massive fan of that now. I'm going off it more. I don't like the way it looks on my chin. But that wasn't anything I was testing today. I loved the Ole Henriksen skincare. I've been enjoying that a lot this last week. And I loved the way it gave me that bit of radiance from beneath, which I definitely didn't get the first time I tried the Dolce & Gabbana skin tint. And the bronzing sticks, beautiful. Definitely recommend giving them a go if you like bronzing sticks. They're good fun the way they smell of chocolate, but they're also so good, so easy. I really enjoy them, and I know I'll be using those a lot this summer. And the eyeshadow from VISEART is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, as long as I pick the colours I like, I've never been able to say that it's not, but from VISEART, because I love VISEART, I really, really do. But I do think they've upped their game with shimmers, and these ones, look at them, just look, absolutely beautiful. Love this. And then onto the Chanel. I think it's beautiful. I think it's so summer perfect. So I certainly didn't need it in my collection, but I'm glad I've got it in my collection. I just wanted to test this out for you for review. So I'm very glad I did now, because I think it is absolutely stunning. I think it was so easy to work with, so easy to blend, and just I think it's gorgeous. I just love everything about this. And I genuinely think it's worth it. Like we looked at earlier, when you compare prices with other things, you're getting so much product in here. So I think it is definitely worth the price, in my opinion. But obviously if you already have a nice coral blush, a nice highlighter and a nice bronzer, you don't need this. But whether you want to treat yourself is another matter. And this lipstick, I do like it. It's not my favourite, but I think it is a lovely finish. And I'm quite happily wearing it. This is about the 4th time I've worn it, so that tells you something. I am reaching for it, so very comfortable, very pretty, and very long lasting. So not my top one, but one of the ones I've really enjoyed using. So that's about it from me for today. I would love to hear from you down below what you think of everything I've tried on today. Have you picked any of these products up, or are you thinking of picking any of them up? I would love to hear from you and see what you think. What do you think about the look I created today and how it looks on me? Do you think it suits me, or do you think I could change things around? I'm always interested to hear what you think. And if you have enjoyed this, please do like and subscribe below. And if you're already subscribed, thanks so much for returning. And I will see you all for my next video, hopefully, which will be my favourites video, which is going to be a really tricky one, because April has been an exceptional month for me with makeup. So I don't know what I'm going to choose in that, but I will be trying on my favourite products and giving you updates on things I've been testing out throughout the month. So I hope to see you all for that one. Take care, everybody. Bye.